Castellón 10K 2026 drew elite athletes from around the world. World champions, European medalists, and rising stars all lined up, each carrying a story and a goal. On a course known for speed and precision, there was nowhere to hide. Every kilometer revealed who belonged, who was ready, and who still had work to do. Some athletes were here to confirm what the world already knew. Others were here to announce themselves on a bigger stage. And in Castellón, this was more than a race. It was a moment some athletes would carry long after the finish line. Let's watch the race and see who is better prepared, and who still has work to do.
Oof, there's a lot of shoulder charging. Fortunately, nobody's gone down. We've seen that occasionally in races, but they are away very quickly. And we're looking for a very quick opening kilometer here. As we've seen fireworks going up behind them. They're just hoping for personal best. This year's motto of the race is run your record, and nothing could be truer. Splendid shot of the racers. First 700 meters. They hit the first roundabout. Facsa Cortez. You'll be seeing a lot of those pacemakers over the first half of the race. The tall man on the right hand side of your screen is Mike Foppen, World Championship 5,000 meters finalist last year in Tokyo, and he's been brought in to help Almgren through the first half of the race. In Valencia, the assigned pacemaker couldn't stay with it after about 3.5 kilometers. And Almgren wants more, and he wants it quicker over the first half of this race. There's some other very good runners at the moment, but they are being left behind by the likes of Almgren up there, Schrub as well. Looking to go through the first kilometre in about 2:41. That's what Foppen yesterday was talking about, that he's been asked to do. .261 is local pacemaker Ciro Martin. Foppen, you can see just on his shoulder. Got Berekat Nega Bebeto up there from Ethiopia in that mauve vest as well. Just on the left hand shoulder, the right hand side of your screen. Here we go. Let's keep an eye out for that first kilometre marker. And I think they have made it in around 2:41, bang on time. Coming up the Avenida Barcelona. Hopefully they take a sharp right just after they pass the Estadio Castilla, which is the home of the Castellón Football Club, which is flying high at the moment in the Spanish second division. It's top and looking as though they might make a return to top tier football in Spain for the first time in 35 years. And for those British viewers who are tuning in to perhaps look at the two Scots, McColgan and Keith, well, the coach will be a very familiar name to many of you. So saying the coach, Pablo Hernandez, there we see the Estadio. There's the leading runners as well, the women. So we've got the Kenyans up there. Purity Gitonga, Caroline Gitonga, and I'm reliably assured they're not related. Riva up there as well. So Colgan just a little bit off the leading in at the moment, just a few strides back. Nice cadence there from the Kenyans, clearly working together. Still ploughing away now. Reach the 2 kilometre mark just after they turn right. Past the stadium now, as you can see it disappearing into the background. And we're looking at around 5:20 for 2 kilometres. That's 26:40 pace. Foppen might be a second or so outside of that. That's the unofficial 2 kilometre point, and it's 5:24. I was told those big trees were where we were going to see the 2 kilometre mark. Still a big group up there. Also up there as well, Kenya's Dennis Matuku, I mentioned at the top of the programme. 27-22 men on the track. And this pace has really strung out the rest of the field behind them. Almgren just looking there, look, just behind Foppen. Foppen checking his watch just to make sure he's right on time. It's the 13th edition of this race, which dates back to 2013. They had a virtual race which isn't counted in 2021 because of pandemic restrictions. Last year won by Ethiopia's Yomif Kajelka, 26:31, the second fastest time ever, just 7 seconds behind the world record of Rose Kipruto, who set that time in Valencia back in 2021. So we're looking for something bang on around 8 minutes at the 3 kilometre mark. They're now starting to, having switched back, having taken a second right turn, now starting to switch back, moving south. And one of the advantages of the Castellón course is these tall buildings. They really do act as a windbreak. That leading group of men now down to around 8 men. That includes the pacers like Foppen and Martin. And that's Nelvin Jet Kemboy, closest to us. Here's me, just as I mentioned that. Still Foppen doing a good job here as we just past the 3 kilometre mark. Martin, and really out of his comfort zone here, Martin, helping things along.
Vamos, campeones!
Looking very comfortable indeed. Yann Schrub, 2 European titles to his name, and the European Cross in a memorable victory in Brussels in 2023. Won the European Championships 10K on the road, returning to Brussels last spring. There's Jet Kanai. help there from a male pacemaker. He's a little bit further back. The leading Spaniards, and they're being paced around the 28-minute mark. Herrera, the Colombian, you can see there with the yellow bib. 2026 is Giuseppe Gerantana of Italy. Back up the front with the women now. Two Kenyans with Jep Kemboi doing all the hard work. She's really coming back into form, Jep Kemboi, after somewhat of a difficult 2025. Kemboi just missed out on the medals when she ran in that very quick race in Romania, in Brasov, up in Transylvania. Been there a couple of times. Really good at events up in the mountains. But the course itself, obviously, very flat. Kemboi, first time of 30:34 from Brasov 2 years ago. It's her first outing of the year, so good one so far. Now, Foppen doing an excellent job up front at the moment. Just gone through 4 kilometres. We don't have kilometre splits, unfortunately, but we will be looking at the 5 kilometre mark, as you can see there. Once we get to 5 kilometres, I hope we'll have some splits which indicate how they're doing, but unofficially, I think they're on European record pace. They've been ticking off 2040, 2041 kilometres. So it is Caroline Gitonga, who finished second last year, who's up there with Nelvin Jepkemei. Jepkemei now. Just past the 4 kilometre mark. Got Gitonga up there as well. Good running from the 2 Kenyans at the moment. Both women clearly coming here with a bit between their teeth and looking to try and run sub-30s. Bit unsure of the pace in the women's race at the moment. So coming up to the 5 kilometre mark. Past the Parque Belado Jose Royal Gomez. And Foppen still doing an admirable job. He's just saying to Almgren, get behind me. I think Almgren's champing at the bit, and so is Schrub. Schrub looking very relaxed indeed. It's looking like there's 4 men behind them. Somebody else also drifting off the back. I think that might be Batebo, the Ethiopian, drifting off the back there. But we've got a group of Kenyans massed behind Almgren and Schrub. No European has won this race in its history. I should say no European man, just to be quite specific. In the early years, there was a few Spanish women winners, and the last European woman to win it was a Briton, Jenny Spink, back in 2018. But Nelvin Jepkemei pushing hard once again. She's well inside. "30-minute pace." I struggle to believe that split is correct, but she's running well inside 29-minute pace at the moment. Just a reminder, the world record in the women's 10 kilometres held by Agnes Engech from Valencia 2024, at the time 28:46. I think they might have had the men's kilometre time up there. Flashback to the grassroots runners. I can tell you, 5 kilometres was reached in 13:24, so exactly spot on, give or take a second, for Mike Foppen. Absolutely terrific performance from Foppen. We're now well into the second half of the race for the men and the women as well. A nice look back at some of the other close to 4,000 runners who were out on the streets of Valencia this morning. Also a concurrent grassroots marathon race just getting underway. But Jep Kemboy, I should say, flying at the moment. There's somebody getting good help as well. Very good class men's club runner. Kemboy, never been to a major championship, now 24 years of age. Made a big breakthrough. No international credentials until 2024, but was talent spotted in Kenya. Got invited to some races in France and really made a big breakthrough at the 2023 Lille race. 31 minutes and carried on that form into 2024. Didn't really show too well last year, as I say, but coming back now. So now it's very clear who the leaders are in this race. 2022, Benia Melak, Ethiopian. 2047, Herbert Kibet of Uganda. And we have the Europeans as well, Almgren and Schrub up there. Schrub now getting to the front. Foppen, well, he's got a long walk back. I think looking at the circuit, he might be able to save himself a couple of kilometres by cutting through the back streets back to the meeting hotel. But now it's Jep Kemboy flying away at the moment. The pitter-patter of her feet on the Castellón tarmac. Here was confirmation. Schrub and Almgren up there. Malak, Sencheru, he's probably one of the men we haven't mentioned up there. Just looking to see whether we've still got Nager up there as well. That group now. Well, it's Almgren and Schrub battling away. They've just gone through 7 kilometres. Now starting to run down Grand Via, one of the big roads in Castellón. Less than 3 kilometers to the finish now. There's a couple of sharp turns, but this is a very quick run from all concerned. Jep Kemboy, Makanda, there you can see Dida Kachugu, also known as Purity Gitonga, and Diana Cheptek up there. Well, that's a big surprise to see some of those names up there. Just wondering whether we're going to see McColgan and Jana van Lent coming through strongly in the second half of the race. They were looking for around 15 minutes at the halfway point. So this phalanx of Africans quicker at this stage. So at the halfway point there was a group of 7, but now 2.5 kilometers down the road, that's whittled down, just 5 men up there now. So that's Quebec. Harbour, Quebec up there. So the leading women still being pushed by Caroline Gitonga and Nelvin Jep Kemboy. Harbour, Quebec now. And he's on course for a big personal best. 2 men as well, looking as though they're still ticking over the kilometers at a very fast pace at 2:40 pace. So they've just gone through 8 kilometers now. So about 6 kilometers of running left. 6 minutes of running left, I should say, not 6 kilometers. Little more than 2, little less than 2. Tonga, who's taken up the lead. Tonga now 29 years of age. She's coming here off the back of a 66:26 half marathon at the end of last year in November. And it's Quebec still working hard at the front. Quebec now trying to break away from the 2 Europeans. Now Quebec comes into this race. He's never run a 10-kilometer race on the roads before, or even on the track. 13 minutes exactly, his personal best over 5 kilometers on the roads. 13:11 man on the track. So this is a big breakthrough for Harbert Quebec. James, the likes of former world champion, world record holder Joshua Cheptegei. So he's got great credentials, and Quebec now starting to try and move away. We're now into the, just about coming into the last kilometre. We've slipped a little bit away from 26:40 pace, but what we do know is Almgren and Schrub have both got fantastic finishes over the final 400-500 metres. Holmgren and Schrub both got fantastic credentials on the track. Holmgren, of course, former world under-20 medalist over 800 metres, and he's gradually moved through the distances. Schrub, I just wonder whether that 3,000 metres, that French short track record from Wednesday night, is still a little bit in. So we're now coming into the last few hundred metres of this race. The finish line in Parque Ribalta is beckoning now. Big personal best for this man, Herbert Kibet. A real surprise win for the Ugandan. Now it's a question of whether Holmgren or Schrub can dig deep, go through the gears. Well, they could claw back the deficit on the Ugandan, who's racing away. In fact, if anything, he's actually putting more distance between himself and the two Europeans. Kibet now is the man who himself has changed the gears as he comes in the last few hundred metres. Just going round the last roundabout. And it's on course now. Now, we see it now. Is he on course for a world record? Are we going to see a world record in Castellón? He's got about 100 or so metres to go. Perhaps not. But it's still going to be a super quick time. He can see the time ahead of him. It's ticking away, but this is still going to be one of the quickest times ever. And he breaks the tape unofficially in 26:39. But I make it that Schrub has broken Holmgren's European record by 2 or 3 seconds. We'll wait for confirmation of that. Yes, you're seeing it is a European record. A fantastic performance from Yann Schrub. He still had something left in his legs after that terrific 7:29 in Leeuwen on Wednesday night. Just going to wait for confirmation of the time. Coming through in 4th place. Silas Senchera of Kenya. Another man who's going to be rewarded with a personal best. Schrub. Just waiting for the familiar chicken hat. Those of you who've watched his wins before will know what I mean. Always digs out the hat. As Batebo, who was up with the leading group for so long, as these men start streaming in, well, there's going to be a whole host of personal bests there. I can tell you, Yann Schrub, I'm looking at the timings now. I've got privilege to be able to get those timings. Looking at shaving 1 second off Andres Holmgren's European record. So European record for Yann Schrub. Out on the roads, though, still, it's the leading women. Caroline Tonga. Well, she was 8th last year. She's going to make a big improvement on that with about 500 metres to go. Just rounding the Plaza de la Independencia. Those men in front of her, very good standard runners indeed. But she's battling head to toe with those runners who are just below international standard themselves. Well, the clock's ticked over 29 minutes. It's not going to be a world record, but it is going to be one of the quickest ever performances. Coming through, she's being guided. Well, there's 7 women inside 29:30. She slows up just a little bit. but that is still a performance that propels her into the top 10 all time. Now it's a question of where is McColgan? Where is Yann van Lent? Difficult to tell from that overhead shot. I'm keeping my eyes open to see whether I can see McColgan or Yann van Lent coming through, and whether there's going to be a second European record here. And here is McColgan, but the European record has just slipped by. Nevertheless, this is going to be a fantastic run. And behind her, not too far in the distance, Yann van Lent as well.
And there you have it. At the Facsa Castellón 10K 2026 brought some truly unforgettable performances. In the men's race, Harbert Kibet from Uganda, a relatively unknown athlete, surprised everyone with a brilliant victory, crossing the line in 26 minutes and 39 seconds, placing himself among the top 10 fastest 10K runners in history. Not far behind, Yann Schrub from France claimed second place, breaking the European record with an incredible 26 minutes and 43 seconds. And rounding out the podium, Sweden's Andreas Elmgren ran 26 minutes and 45 seconds, tying the old European record and showing tremendous consistency at the front of the race. The women's race was just as thrilling. Caroline Makandi of Kenya ran a stunning 29 minutes and 34 seconds, joining the elite group of athletes to run under 30 minutes. Her compatriot, Nelvin Jepkemboy, finished second in 29 minutes and 45 seconds, while Ethiopia's Kalta Daida completed the podium with 29 minutes and 50 seconds. Meanwhile, Megan Keith of Great Britain broke the European record by a second with 30 minutes and 7 seconds, proving she's one of Europe's fastest on the road. It was a day full of record-breaking runs and amazing performances. If you loved this recap, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video for more incredible races.